Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video, the SIX X7400 Pro 512GB NVMe PCI Express Gen 4x4 drive with up to 7400 megabits per second performance. And I thought this was actually a scam. Now, nothing to do with actually how we got them. These were actually very kindly donated to the channel from our good friend Orali. So thank you so much, Orali, for your kindness and generosity. And thank you to all of you that watch the channel for your kindness and generosity in the comment section, which I'm sure you're going to chime in on these. So this is a rather unknown brand called SIX, which has a Chinese owner, which I cannot pronounce. So I'll try and put it on the screen for you now, or give you a close-up so you can see what it's all about. But these actually on paper appear to be very good value for money. Now, I know that's a very weird thing to say at the moment due to the fact that SSD pricing is absolutely abysmal, but in terms of what is available on the market, this particular brand seems to be somewhere between £10 and £20 cheaper than their nearest competition. Now, when I say the nearest competition, I mean some of those other Chinese brands such as things like FICWAT, etc, etc. Obviously, when it comes to the more kind of premium brands, like your MSIs, your Samsungs, that sort of stuff, those are ridiculously expensive. At the moment, 512GB drives are somewhere in the region of about £100, £120, which is absolutely crazy. So to be able to save a little bit of money and get a drive which, at least on paper, appears to be very competitive, seems to be a pretty good option for those of you building PCs right now, or possibly if you're doing upgrades, maybe you're adding this as a secondary drive into something like a Mac Mini, or you're putting it into something like your PlayStation to give you more storage, or maybe just upgrading an older laptop. These seem to be pretty decent. So today's video is going to be somewhat of an unboxing, show you what you get, what it's all about, all the specifications, etc. And also some of the reasons why I thought this may have been somewhat of a scam when it came to my testing. So stay tuned for that. So when it comes to unboxing, obviously you get the drive itself, which is in the 2280 form factor. It comes with a accessory bundle, which weirdly come in a separate packet, which is this one here. So this contains some accessories to help you get the drive installed and set up on your PC. Inside, you get things like a screwdriver to help to remove the screws. Generally, this is a PH1 or Phillips head 1 size screw. And you also get a very small riser and also a retaining screw to actually install it. So if you've got a motherboard which you've had a little while and you've lost all the bits and pieces, you should be able to install this very easily. Also, for the people that are possibly doing this on slightly older boards and you don't have built-in heat sinks, it actually does come with a heatsink as well, which is, I would argue, not the best, but it's better than nothing. And certainly with PCI Express Gen 4 drives, especially even the lower wattage ones, or the ones that use less power, or power efficient I should say, I would strongly suggest using heatsink. This has a rated temperature of up to 70 degrees Celsius, and actually in my testing I did get it up to kind of 70, I think it's 73 was the hottest I got it to. So certainly I would strongly suggest using a heatsink. Ideally, if you can, probably don't use the one that comes included. If you can, just get a separate one. If your motherboard's got a decent one, use that. Or alternatively, there are options from the likes of Thermalright. They do really good ones which are a little bit on the bulky side, but certainly do an excellent job. Or if you go over to AliExpress, you can get the kind of cheapo ones which have got all kinds of RGB goodness built in. So if you want to really go to town, then now is probably the time. There's something which actually caught me off guard straight away coming through the packaging. The packaging is in a white package, and there are these silicone bands which actually hold the heatsink onto the drive. At first I thought there was only one included, which seemed a little bit weird, being that the layout of the drive, you have the RAM chips at either end of the PCB and the controller is nestled in the middle. So I thought, well, we'll put the band in the middle. Then on closer inspection, I went through the packaging and noticed there was another silicone band kind of hidden in the plastic wallet there. So I put the other one on. Again, it's absolutely fine, but realistically, depending on what sort of load you're going to be putting on these drives, I would probably go for a more aftermarket one, or like I've already said, use the ones which are built in on your motherboard. Those are likely to be significantly heavier duty and potentially larger to relieve some of that heat stress. Now there's actually 3 different versions of this drive available, potentially 4 depending on when you're watching and what is available on the market. So there's a 512, there's a 1 gig, there's a 2 gig and potentially a 4 gig as well in some regions. Now you can pick this up from Amazon. That is where O'Reilly got these and sent them over to us. So they are on Amazon UK. We'll put links in the video description if you want to check them out and local pricing. You should pay somewhere around the £70 mark. I think when these came over to us, they were £72.99. Checking on today, they're £74.99 and they do seem to fluctuate a little bit. So obviously do check out the links and see what local pricing is like if you're looking for a drive. So let's drill down into some of the specifications. So like I've said, this is PCI Express Gen 4x4 with transfer speeds of up to 7400 megabits per second. It says 7422 on there. I didn't quite manage to get that on my final testing. Got around about 7300, which again is pretty much fine. You may find as well on your own drives, if you've got things in Windows enabled, such as core isolation, that sort of stuff, then all of those little slight overheads can make a difference on your system, so your benchmarks may vary. So like we've already said, these come with a 5-year warranty. Now realistically, SIX, the brand, doesn't seem to have any sort of real online presence, so when it comes to actually making a claim, things may not be quite as easy as you'd imagine. Potentially you could do it through Amazon, but realistically I would take the 5-year warranty with somewhat of a pinch of salt. The drive itself actually seems to be pretty decent. So it's using 3D TLC NAND flash. Now the NAND flash on here, from what I can tell from using another piece of software, is from Micron, and it's using a 232 layer NAND flash chip. So yeah, that seems pretty good. Micron do some pretty decent stuff. And when it comes to the controller is an SM2268XT controller, which is basically a high-speed, low power and low heat controller. Seems to do pretty darn well. And if you look at other drives on the market, there's actually quite a few of the even premium tier drives which use that same controller to keep prices down. Now, and also to keep prices down on this particular unit, there isn't any onboard DRAM cache, which for some people is a big no-no. Now again, it depends on how you're using this. Realistically now, with modern systems, using the host memory buffer or host buffer memory, however you want to put it. I think it's host memory buffer, HMB, rather than HBM, because that's another type of thing altogether. But using that, it takes around about 64K of your system's RAM just to kind of lay out a table of where the files are to speed up access, that kind of stuff. And actually, when it comes to access, it's PCI Express Gen 4x4. Again, it's pretty nippy. And in our final testing, we got 7,334.40 in terms of read, and in terms of writes, we got 5,463.78. So again, it's no slouch at all. And basically how it does this, it uses somewhere between 10 to 20% of the capacity of the drive and kind of turns that into a pseudo SLC cache. So what you will find, depending on the size of your drives, like with this one with a 512, realistically, after you're transferring somewhere around sort of 60 to 100 gigabytes of data, then as the cache becomes full, you're going to notice a drop off. And also, if you're using this drive and it's getting pretty full, like half or 3/4 full, that cache size is obviously going to be diminished because it's a certain percentage of the remaining space. So it will get slower as it fills up. So maybe it might be worth going for a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte should the funds allow. So let's go back to why I thought this was a scam and potentially reasons why you might actually want to check your own systems to see if you're actually getting the best out of your drives, especially some of these kind of lower cost or off-brand models. Now, when I started off the testing on this, I actually used the PC behind me, which is using the M5 X670E chipset. So we've got loads of bandwidth there. And actually the motherboard itself has 4 M.2 slots, one of which is PCI Express Gen 5 in the top, and then you've got 3 more PCI Express Gen 4x4 slots. Now, there doesn't appear to be any obvious sharing going on, but when I did launch my first bunch of tests, I was getting somewhere around the kind of 6,000 megabits per second transfer, which seemed a little bit weird. It was a lot lower than what was advertised on the box. So I thought to myself, let's run the test again, and I ran the test again after Windows had settled down, and we got basically exactly the same results. So I thought there's something weird going on here. Now, in my specific system, I do have a capture card in the bottom slot. And as most of us know, when it comes to PCI Express lanes and lane sharing, most motherboards do to some extent. Now, it's different for pretty much every board and every manufacturer, but I do have a capture card in that bottom slot, so I thought let's take the capture card out and run the tests again, and to no surprise to anybody, I got exactly the same results. So I thought to myself, well, maybe it's because those are actually powered from the chipset rather than coming directly from the CPU itself. So I then took the drive, put it into one of the top slots, and actually rerun the tests, and that is when I got my best results. Again, around about 7300 megabytes per second transfer, which is pretty much bang on what we should get, accounting for a little bit of processing overhead. So I'm very happy with the performance of the drive overall, especially when it's put into an appropriate slot on the board. So that is something to definitely look out for. If you're buying new drives and you're putting them into your motherboards and your PCs, just make sure you put them in the right slots. Ideally, the upper slots are the best because they are powered directly from the CPU, whereas the lower slots generally tend to be powered from the chipset, in which case you may see a little bit of a drop off in terms of peak performance. Now I should mention some of the other performance metrics of this. So when it comes to MTBF, or mean time before failure, they're rating this drive as being up to 1.5 million hours, which is, seems like a very long time. I'm definitely not going to be testing that. And also when it comes to the TBW, or the longevity, or terabytes written, the 512 drive comes in at 300, whereas if you go for the slightly larger 1 terabyte version, you get actually double that. So if you're looking for a little longevity and you are transferring quite a lot of files on a daily basis, then it might actually be worth stumping up the extra cash and going for the 1 terabyte model. But if you're using this as a kind of secondary drive or a backup drive, that kind of thing, you shouldn't experience any problems whatsoever. And still 300 TBW is actually pretty decent for a 512 gigabyte drive. When it comes to the random read writes, so this is rated at 600K for the 512 model. And again, due to the controller, because you can use the controller in kind of dual channel mode if you have more RAM on there or more NAND. If you have the 1 terabyte model, that doubles to 1200K. So again, depending what you need, what you're expecting out of your drive, I actually find this to be really good. And realistically, when you put it into a system, especially if it's a slightly older system, or you're maybe running on an older SSD, a 2.5-inch SSD SATA based drive, which is around about 550 megabytes per second, if you install one of these, your PC is going to be like, yes, let's go. This is much better. And you will find things like opening menus, opening browsers, programs, even loading times in games will be significantly reduced. Again, it's going to depend on the title and your system itself, but certainly upgrading to a PCI Express NVMe drive is a pretty good thing to do. And at the moment, like I said, prices are pretty terrible, but if you're looking for the kind of the best of a bad lot, then I think the SIX brand is definitely well worth a look. So there you go, that is my thoughts and impressions on the SIX X7400 Pro 512 gigabyte model. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.